I used to work maintenance at a large state park in northern Colorado. I won't say the name, because I still live nearby, and honestly, what happened there still makes me feel sick. Most people think of state parks as peaceful places, trails, fresh air, wildlife. But when you're there after closing hours, when the sun goes down and the visitors leave, the whole place changes. My shift usually ended around 7 p.m., but on one Friday, my manager asked if I could stay late to help clear a fallen tree that had blocked part of a hiking trail. I didn't want to be out there at night, but I needed the overtime, so I agreed. By the time I got to the trail, it was already getting dark. The forest was quiet in a way that didn't feel natural. The kind of quiet where you can hear your own heartbeat. Crickets weren't chirping. Birds weren't calling. Just silence. I started cutting up the broken branches when I heard something snap deeper in the woods. Not like a twig, but like a branch cracking under someone's weight. I stood still and listened. Nothing. I convinced myself it was an animal. Bears and deer were common, so I tried to ignore it. But a few minutes later, I heard it again. This time closer. I turned and shined my flashlight into the trees. The beam lit up rows of tall trunks and thick brush. And then, I saw him. A man, standing between two trees. Completely still. Watching me. He didn't say anything. He didn't move. He just stared. I felt this rush of fear hit me so hard it made my chest tighten. I called out, "Hey, you can't be here. The park is closed." Nothing. No reaction. I took a step toward him and raised the light higher. That's when I realized he wasn't standing normally. His body was angled wrong, like he was leaning slightly forward, but not enough to fall. His arms hung straight down at his sides. And his head was tilted too far, like he was trying to look at me from underneath his brow. I said, "Sir, are you all right?" The man jerked, not stepped, but jerked 2 feet closer, like he snapped into a new position. I stumbled backwards so fast I dropped the flashlight. When I picked it up and shined it again, he was even closer. Maybe 15 feet away now. Still leaning. Still staring. His mouth was slightly open like he was breathing through it. I turned and ran. I didn't care about the tree or the job. I sprinted down the trail until my lungs burned. When I finally reached my truck, I locked the doors and just sat there shaking. As I started the engine, I looked back at the trail entrance. He was standing right at the edge of the trees, like he had followed me the whole way. The worst part? When I reported it the next morning, the park rangers told me they'd gotten multiple complaints in the past few months. Hikers claimed they saw a man watching them from the tree line. Always leaning. Always silent. Always appearing closer every time they looked away. They'd searched, but never found anyone. To this day, whenever I drive past that trail, I can't help but glance into the tree line. This happened when I was around 17. My friends and I used to hang out at this little neighborhood park near where we grew up. It wasn't anything special, just a playground, a few benches, and a small wooded area behind it. But it was our spot. One night, after seeing a late movie, we decided to walk over there before heading home. It was close to midnight, and the place was completely empty. The streetlights cast these long yellow shadows across the swings, making everything look stretched and distorted. We sat on the picnic table, talking about stupid stuff, when my friend Hannah said, "Do you guys hear that?" We went quiet and listened. There was a sound coming from the woods behind the playground, like a child laughing. It was faint, but clear enough that we all heard it. "What kid is out here at midnight?" my friend Tyler said, trying to sound brave. But I could tell he was freaked out. So was I? The laugh came again, followed by the sound of leaves crunching. Not like someone walking normally, but stepping really slowly, deliberately, almost like they wanted us to hear them. Hannah whispered, "Guys, someone's in there." We backed away from the trees, keeping our eyes on the dark gap between them. That's when the swing next to us began to move. Just a gentle sway at first, like the wind was pushing it. Except there wasn't any wind. The air was completely still. Tyler walked over and grabbed the swing chain to stop it. "It's just loose or something," he said. Right when he touched it, that childlike laugh came again, but this time it was right behind us. We all spun around. No one was there. We didn't wait to figure anything out. We grabbed our stuff and speed walked toward the street. Hannah kept glancing back, saying she felt like someone was behind us. When we reached the sidewalk, I turned around for one last look. And I swear on everything, I saw a small figure standing in the middle of the playground. Not moving, not running, just standing there. And even though the figure was tiny, like a child, The shadow it cast was long. Way too long. Stretching unnaturally across the ground as if the streetlights were bending around it. The next day, I told my older brother about it. He told me something I didn't know. A little boy had gone missing in those woods almost 10 years earlier. Search teams found nothing. No body. No clothes. No signs. He was just gone. I don't know what we heard that night. Or who. But none of us ever went back after dark. And the swings at that park? They still move sometimes, even on completely windless nights. This last story is something that happened only a few months ago. I go running at a local park almost every morning before work. It's a big park with a long paved trail that loops around a lake, and around sunrise it's usually peaceful and empty. Except for this one day. It was still a little dark when I started my run. The sky was turning purple, and the path lights were humming softly. About 5 minutes in, I noticed a woman jogging ahead of me. She was wearing a red hoodie and moving fast. I didn't think anything of it. People jog there all the time. But when I sped up to pass her, she suddenly stopped. Completely. Like she froze mid-step. I slowed down, thinking maybe she twisted her ankle, but when I got close, I realized her posture was wrong. She was standing with her back to me, head tilted upward, staring at the sky. "Hey, are you okay?" I asked. She didn't respond. Then she slowly lifted her arm and pointed straight ahead, at the lake. I followed the direction of her finger, but didn't see anything. When I looked back at her, she was gone. Not running down the trail. Not walking. Just gone. There were no footsteps, no rustling in the leaves, like she vanished into thin air. I stood there in total confusion, trying to figure out what I had just seen. Then I noticed something in the distance by the lake. A shape, standing completely still near the waterline. The woman in the red hoodie. Except now she was facing me. Her hood was down, and even from far away, I could tell something was wrong with her face. It looked pale. Too pale. Like she hadn't been in the sun for years. I called out again. "Do you need help?" She didn't move. She didn't speak. She just stared. Then, as the sun finally crept up over the trees, the light hit the lake, and I swear I saw her reflection. It wasn't standing still. It wasn't matching her body. I reported it to the park office later that day. The ranger sighed like he'd heard it before. He told me people had been reporting a woman in a red hoodie for years. Always early in the morning, always acting strange, always appearing near the water. But here's the part that still haunts me. He said the woman, they believe it is drowned in that lake over a decade ago. Pulled under by something they never found. I haven't gone running there since. And sometimes, when I'm half asleep in my bed, I see flashes of red in my dreams and hear water dripping from somewhere in the room.